Hello and welcome to the RotoWire Esports Show. My name is Ethan Sexton, and here with me, as always, is DFS Chan. Chan, how are you doing today, sir?
Good, good. A lot of close games from this morning's slate.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, Chan, we got about half the slate right. Okay, we were right. We were right about RNG picking up a sweep over Ultra Prime. That happened. It was pretty low scoring for RNG. They only got 33 kills in 2 games, but of course, you add in that games not played bonus. That'll help. That was a pretty one-sided affair. Not too much more to add to that, I don't think. RNG just really rounding back into form.
Yeah, RNG is back in form, and Rare Adam and BLG. That was a pretty close matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah.
BLG. I had BLG winning this game, but Rare Adam actually showed up, and they played a pretty good game overall. I mean, they like to play slow and kind of late scale in games 1 and 2, but then they also show that they can just explode in game 3. And BLG kind of threw bodies at the end. That kind of helped Rare Adam's case, but I feel like these two teams were very similar in skills, in my opinion. Rare Adam just tends to play so slow, so it's kind of boring to watch. But for DFS purposes, it kind of helped them. But ultimately, they weren't even in the optimal lineup today, though. So
yeah, which was interesting. I think that matchup we got wrong, but sort of right. Chan, we'll get like a half star, I guess, so instead of a full star, because we both liked BLG as underdogs, but we thought it would be a little lower scoring. And to your point, I mean, it was a low scoring series until the end when BLG just started, all going in and dying basically. So yeah, jumping over to the LCK though. The biggest result, the biggest upset here was Sandbox taking down Gen G. We kind of mentioned that it could happen. Sandbox had been playing well, but we both liked Gen G, and we thought that Gen G, would be a pretty safe, the second safest team after RNG is, I think, how I put them, and we liked them at a little bit of a discount. So Gen G losing wasn't great for us in our predictions, but hopefully, if people played them in cash, hopefully they kind of hedged a little bit with Sandbox, because Sandbox was pretty great today.
Yeah, they were, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was a tough game for Young Jay, the new jungler, to come in and play against a good team like Sandbox. I mean, we kind of said, like, if it were against DRX, he would definitely play. But, yeah, against Sandbox, they started him. I mean, we got the news at, like, 2 a.m. Eastern time. So, for those people who are up, staying up, I mean, we're able to probably, update your roster. But, I mean, yeah, that's tough. But yeah, I mean, we'll mention, every potential roster swap for every LCK team, because obviously we're not getting confirmed lineups for those LCK teams, except for the first game, a few hours before the slate locks. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough break for those people who played Kled and got a fat donut.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, we'll cover that, throughout the season. Like I said, a lot of LCK teams like to make changes and experiment, at this time of the year, because they're getting ready to make push for the playoffs, or if they are kind of out of the playoffs, they like to play new rookies, and from their minor league affiliation and all that development affiliation. So there will be some changes. So that's something that you'll have to keep in mind.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go over that for today's slate, because there's a little bit of that going on again. And then the other LCK series, Chan, was T1 picking up a 2-1 win over Africa. We got this one nailed on pretty good, man, because we called T1 to win, and we said this is the metrics all showed this is the slowest series on the slate, and it definitely proved to be that way. I mean, this was a kind of a snoozer, man.
Yeah, snoozer. But T1's good. T1's back in form.
Yep.
I know they had a horrible game too, but I mean, Africa kind of got the early lead and snowballed after that. But yeah, just overall in the series, T1 looked very, very good in my opinion for LCK standards. I feel like T1 and Nongshim might be the top 2 teams at the end of the split, because I mean, just given how Gen G looked today with their new jungler, I don't know how long that's going to last with the new jungler, but with Damwon Kia struggling a bit, I mean, it's really wide open in the LCK in my opinion. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's the LCK is it's been pretty interesting. It's just it's not the LPL, so it's not quite as exciting, but it's still pretty good. Chan, let's go ahead and we'll jump into tomorrow's slate. So kicking things off, we've got a 4 a.m. matchup between Hanwha Life and KT. And we both wanted to bring up, it's good that this matchup is first because we'll get the lineups, very early in the morning before this series. But Hanwha Life has called up a jungler named Willer. So potential for him to start in there tomorrow. And KT brought up an AD carry named Five Kid. So those two, they could be potential starters tomorrow, like we saw today with Young Jay. So if you're playing this matchup, folks, keep an eye out on Twitter. 3:30 in the morning, wake up, set an alarm, scour Twitter real quick. Kenzie131 is a good one. Chan, if you're awake, maybe you'll tweet it out. I don't know. I won't be awake. I'll tell you that right now. So, but you can find this lineup on Twitter before lineup lock. So you might want to double check if you're playing this matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's also, and then another hand, there's also another chance that these rookies or, I think they're rookies, these rookies might start. And then after game one, if they lose, there's a chance that they might get pulled. I mean, it's not likely because that would just kill the rookies' morale
right
after game one if they get pulled. But, there is that possibility as well. So just keep your eyes out on it. Like from this morning, Gen G, I mean, I thought after they lost their game, I thought maybe Clib will come back in. But, just you just never know with LCK teams 50-50. So, I mean, that's the inherent risk that you will have to take if you are playing LCK teams.
Yeah, for sure. But what do you think about this matchup overall, Chan? This is the closest matchup, closest or second closest. They're the FPX Suning matchup is also a very close one. But this is definitely a pretty close one as far as the odds go. KT though, 4-8, they're in 9th place. Hanwha Life 4-7, they're in 8th place. So they're right next to each other in the standings. But to me, I think that Hanwha Life are the better team, but I don't feel that confident in them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hanwha will win as well. But like you, I'm not very confident because Hanwha has shown that, they're inconsistent. And then same for KT. I mean, KT started off this split very well, and then, they've been on a skid ever since then. So it's just like, two teams, probably two of the most inconsistent teams in my opinion, because I had picked KT in so many spots in this split so far. But I've gotten them wrong, and same for HLE. So, but yeah, so far, I mean, HLE after that, mid-season break for the LCK split, they have come and showed, had a much stronger showing against some elite teams as well. So I like Hanwha Life still here, and for DFS purposes, amongst the two LCK games, this is the matchup to target because the other LCK matchup between Nongshim, Red Force, and Freddy Brion, that carries the lowest combined kills per minute. So I would target teams, LCK teams from this matchup between Hanwha Life or KT. As they carry the highest combined kills per minute and kill pace amongst the LCK teams here today. So yeah, I like Hanwha probably for cash, but obviously with 3 close matchups today, I think on the slate, including Nongshim and Freddy Brion, I just feel like you'll have to choose your winners carefully for cash contest today. I think the ownership will be spread out today, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. There's not really any. There's one big favorite, but other than that, there's not. It's not too bad. The other matchups are all fairly close in terms of the odds and everything. So, and speaking of the one big favorite, that's the next matchup we can take a look at here, Chan. The first one in the LPL between Top Esports and Rogue Warriors. Top Esports, they're up and down. They're up and down. Sometimes they look great. Sometimes they look like crap. They're 6-4, 8th place in the LPL. Rogue Warriors are 4-8, down in 14th place. Even if Top are inconsistent, this still feels like a pretty one-sided matchup in favor of Top Esports. I know you bring it up a lot, though, that Top does tend to play down to their competition sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it might be a sloppier series from Top, but at the end of the day, I still can't think anything other than a 2-0 win here.
Yeah, I think Top Esports will win 2-0 as well. And this matchup not only carries the highest combined kills per minute metric, But like you said, I mean, playing against like bad teams like Rogue Warriors, I feel like, Rogue Warriors also likes to skirmish. So I feel like it's a good, really good spot for top esports, kind of like how RNG was this morning. So I like top esports here a lot. To score well as win 2-0 as well. So, but yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, top esports likes to play down to Rogue Warriors level. So I mean, there's definitely I definitely see a glimpse of Rogue Warriors beating top esports as a deep GPP lineup. But I just don't know. I just feel like Victory 5 is the only team that I just don't trust. Rogue Warriors, I feel like in this meta, anybody can win with the right team composition. So I don't know. I just feel like, it's a deep GPP contest. For example, like this morning, I had no Ultra Prime, but, I just feel like, Rogue Warriors might have a chance, just given how volatile top esports can get against bad opponents. So if you want to, I think this is a spot where you can take a chance here. So
yeah, I mean, they're the biggest. All I can say for Rogue Warriors, they're the biggest underdog on the slate. They're probably going to be the lowest owned team or one of the lowest owned teams. So if you really want that leverage, go for it. But I'm not giving them much of a shot. I think the best thing that can come from top esports playing down a bit is we get a sloppier series and more kills for top, hopefully. Yeah. So I kind of feel like that's what we're going to see rather than Rogue Warriors winning. But crazier things have happened, man. We see crazy upsets all the time, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, I guess. But I don't give it much chance. The second LPL series of the day, Chan. This is going to be a really good one, man. This is the other really close series alongside of that HLE-KT one. But these are two really good teams on the flip side of Hanwha Life and KT being two bad teams. We've got FPX 9-3, second place in the LPL, going up against a surging Suning team who've been in great form of late, Chan. They're 7-5, up to sixth place now in the LPL. Man, for the neutral perspective, watching this series is going to be awesome. It's hard to pick a winner, but I know you and you know me, man. We're going to side with FPX, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, my heart lies there, but also, I mean, the stats support that FPX should win, and they're deservedly, the favorite in this matchup. I know Suning just comes off of a very good, string of very good wins, in the last couple of weeks or so. But same for FPX. I mean, FPX has gained form. I know Nuguri has been struggling a little bit, but I just feel like Tian and Doin B. I mean, Doin B has been playing lights out by himself for that team, and I just feel like LWX having Chris back. I know we talked about him playing Vayne in the last series. So I just feel like FPX, I mean, I like that bottom lane matchup now that LWX with Chris back there against Hwanfeng and On. I just feel like Hwanfeng is the engine for that team as well as Bin for that team. So I just think they match up very well with Nuguri, as long as he just doesn't get a solo kill like he did against Nu in the other series. I just feel like, I think I'll trust the FPX to win here, in my opinion. So, and like I said, the metrics support that as well. I mean, jungle control, Baron control, and then first tower. I mean, on dragon percentage, they all favor FPX just based on the statistics. So, but based on the recent form, yeah, I mean, Suning has been in good form as well. So, I mean, really, it's a toss-up like the Vegas odds indicate. But if I had to pick, I would pick FPX to win.
Yeah, I agree. We both like FPX, so maybe we're a little biased, but I still think this FPX team is arguably that lineup, if they're all performing at the level they can perform at and they're all healthy because they've had some health issues. Still think it's the scariest in the LPL, man. Love the lineup, but definitely, Suning have been playing really well. This is last year's, Worlds runner-up. So Suning are good enough to beat FPX. So I think he can play both sides of this matchup, but I'm going to side with the FPX side. To your point, Bin is a bit scarier than Nu. So I'm hoping Nuguri's on his game tomorrow and not, causing any issues. And that should make it a bit easier for FPX to take down Suning. But yeah, I think both sides are fairly in play in this series for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, I do like that you get FPX at a little bit of a discount compared to where they normally are as well. So that's kind of nice. Obviously the tougher matchup brings that out. So, Chan, the final matchup of the day, we've got back over to the LCK. We've got Fredit Breon taking on NS Red Force. Fredit Breon are 5-7. seventh place, the just outside the last playoff spot here. They're down in seventh place, like I said. And with the loss of Gen G this morning, Nongshim are 9-3, which is the same record as Gen G, but they now have a better game score. So they're actually on top of the LCK as we speak right now. And of course, a win tomorrow would give them one more win on their record than Gen G and put them clear of Gen G for first place. So I think you brought up already that this looks like a pretty slow series for DFS purposes. Does that mean you're kind of just avoiding it? It feels like an NS win, probably an NS sweep, I would guess, but maybe not the best scoring. And, NS are decently expensive. A couple of their players are cheaper than some of the other favorites, but not sure I want to pay up for any of them tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't agree with the odds here. I think Nongshim Red 4 should be even a heavier favorite. I think last time I saw it, they're minus 285. I just feel like they should be more than minus 500 or so. I mean, they've been in probably the best form amongst all LCK teams. They've been beating good teams, elite teams left and right. I just feel like against Brion that Nongshim should be a bigger favorite. But yeah, I mean, but for DFS purposes, yeah, I mean, pricing indicates that as well. Like you said, I mean, other than top esports, Nongshim Red Force is the biggest favorite. So I think they're going to be very popular in cash games, even despite the low combined kills per minute and the kill pace, kill upside for Nongshim. But just to note, I mean, for July games that they played in, which, I mean, the last 3 weeks that they've been playing, just lights out. They've been winning all the games, and I mean, their kill pace has gone up significantly when they're winning, from 0.70 and then into 0.78. So that's about as even as Hanwha Life's combined kills per minute. So if you think Nongshim, will dictate this game against Brion, which a lot of opponents against Fred and Brion do. So I mean, I like Nongshim's chances to win. Obviously, 2-0, like you said, Ethan. But for DFS purposes, I mean, yeah, I think there is a bit of risk that this matchup might produce low in kills. But I think it's pretty sure bet that Nongshim will win, in my opinion, just given how they have looked, and then also, like you said. Last point I'll make is that they're first in the standings. I mean, they can really, distance themselves from other top tier teams, against bad opponents like Brion. So I think they're going to be motivated to do well. And just watching Gen G lose this morning, I think that's going to kind of just help them focus and take care of business in this matchup.
Yeah, I think so too. Pretty cool to see, actually. Red Force, a newer organization in the LCK, right? They've got, a veteran like Peanut and a guy like Kellen who's been for a while, but it's kind of cool to see them giving a little bit of a shakeup to the other teams in the summer split. We'll see how they do in the playoffs because, as you said, it does feel kind of wide open in Korea right now. Chan, I think you said this, but forgive me, I forgot or wasn't listening or something. No, just kidding. I always listen to you, but I just forgot. But did you say between the top esports and Rogue Warriors matchup and the FPX Suning matchup, which one was the highest combined kills per minute?
Yeah, I haven't really clarified that, so I'll clear it up. The top esports versus Rogue Warriors have carried the highest combined kills per minute, and then FPX versus Suning carried the second highest combined kills per minute on the slate. So yeah, I mean, like I said, top esports, I mean, based on the statistics, based on the kill upside, based on their opponent playing style, I mean, really, they're in a smash spot here today and on this slate. But it's also going to be the highest owned team that's going to be on the slate today. So for GPP purposes, it might be a good leverage and good fade if you are playing the ownership game. So
yeah, I think you can spread out a little bit more than there's some decent options all the way around on this slate. Chan, anything else you want to go over before we say goodbye for today? Pretty good 4-game slate, like we said, because besides top esports, there's not really another massive favorite that you have to jam in with top. So it does, like to your point, it does hopefully make things a little bit more spread out tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. But then I feel like at the same time, I can definitely see Top Esports and Nongshim Red Force as the highest stack in cash games. I think that's just going to be through the roof, just based on what the odds are and how the pricing is on DraftKings today. So yeah, I mean, but for GPP purposes, like I said, I mean, really Suning and KT, I mean, they're both alive. Even Rule Warriors is alive in my opinion for deep GPP contests.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, if you want to take a chance in a $1 or 10 cents GPP, yeah, I mean, go for it. I mean, they might surprise you. And like I said, Top Esports has a history of playing down to the opponent's level, so anything can happen. But most likely, like you said, Top Esports is in a smash spot here, and they're gonna score very well. So.
Yeah, I think so, man. Yeah, well, Chan, thank you as always, man. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel down below. Keeps you up to date when we're going to be going live. And then, of course, if you can't watch us live, the recording will be there as soon as we're done recording. If you guys have any questions, you can always use the live stream comments. We try to watch that. Actually, Chan, we did get a question here right at the end from Theodore who asks who we think the best captain is tonight. So I think it kind of depends on what teams you're playing, but you got any thoughts on that? Is it mainly just a Top Esports thing, or
yeah,
it's kind of hard to know without, guaranteeing what teams you're playing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the smartest answer will be Knight on Top Esports. Just given his high kill participation percentage and kill share percentage, but just given what you're stacking with, it's gonna change. But any Top Esports player other than the support position is probably gonna be a good bet to captain today. And yeah, I mean for Nongshim Red Force, I mean like we said, like Peanut and then Duck Dom. Would be the top two captain choices. But, Gory hasn't been bad himself either. I mean, there were some games that he exploded. So, I think Nongshim, if you are playing Nongshim, long stack or short stack, but want to captain a player from that matchup, even though it has a low combined kills per minute, those would be the three players to target. But yeah, for Top Esports captain, I mean, Knight or Jackie Love or Karsa are probably going to be my choices.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, anyway, guys, so if you're not watching live and you ever have a question, you can leave the comment down below. We try to look at it, but the best way to get in touch with us is to go to rotowire.com/try. Get yourself a free 10-day trial to RotoWire. The link right down below the video. No credit card required. And then once you're there, rotowire.com/chat. That'll give you instructions on how to join the subscriber-only Discord server. Chan and I are always in there talking. Chan's always dropping good information. So you definitely want to get in there, especially when you can do it for 10 days for free, and then you can decide if you want to stick around or not. Chan, good talking to you as always, man. Best of luck to you tomorrow, and best of luck to everybody out there that watched the video.
Thanks, Ethan.